Welcome back to the Crypto is Key conversation. Today's video, I got a lot of topics that I want to cover. Within the market right now, there's so many different things going on. There's only so much that I can cover in this small video here, but these are the major topics that I wanted to have a conversation on. So we're going to start with the CNBC article. It's talking about 13 of our companies report earnings coming this week. So there's a lot of conversation that's discussing, hey, I'm kind of holding off. I'm not dollar cost averaging anymore. I kind of want to see what's going to happen with these earning reports that's going to come out. So we're going to have a quick conversation about that. James K. finally gave us some Ripple versus SEC updates in regards of what's going on. This is Johnny Deaton's Amici filing in response to the SEC's objection. He has two updates here. Jeremy Hogan puts up a tweet thread that's covering what Johnny Deaton had presented to the courts. That is pretty damning, in my opinion. And Jeremy Hogan says bravo to Johnny Deaton, and he's really excited. And this is his favorite brief in the Ripple case so far, which is huge. The digital asset investor puts up this great video with this Valhill Capital, I think. I forgot this gentleman's name right here, but talking about Bill Hemmon, Jay Clayton, and ETHgate, and kind of how things are tying into so-called insider trading, how everything was laid out in this ETHgate scandal, which is going to transition into these two videos. This one covering some insider traders that were recently arrested in regards of, I think there was like FBI agent and people, high executives and high positions that were pretty much arrested for insider trading, which is going to transition into this, remember I bet dimes to donuts that, when they put their bets into XRP going down and the lawsuit coming out, Mike Novogratz and the likes and the people that are involved in this inside information of this lawsuit that was getting ready to drop on Ripple and XRP in December 2020. And then digital asset investor throws out this this tweet here where he says, how did the SEC allow Coinbase to go public with 9 tokens that were securities? And Coinbase came out, pretty bold statement saying like, we don't list securities, period. But it's like, you have the SEC charging former Coinbase managers for insider trading, and it says two others in crypto. So like their associates that were charged with insider trading, and it came out that it was pretty much stated that there was 9 digital assets that were considered securities, but so-called Coinbase don't list securities, period. Then it's like, okay, well, if you don't list securities, then why did you delist XRP? So that's kind of tying into this whole insider trading information that's been affecting assets in the markets in general. Then we're going to have a quick update in what's going on with the whole Voyager and the proposal from STX from CoinDesk here. And then we're just going to kind of end on that. But quickly coming over here to CoinGecko, we're currently sitting at a $1.01 trillion market cap, currently down 6.6% for the day. So just like I was saying earlier, it's no really so surprise that, we are having a little bit of downside, in anticipation of these earning reports, waiting for these big announcements that's going to come out, in regards of like recessions, what's Jerome Powell and the Fed's going to do with this interest rate hikes. Is going to be 75 basis points, 100 basis points. There's so many uncertainties. Obviously the market's going to, factor in what they think the probability is, but no one really knows until it happens. So that's kind of what we're covering right here. You have major companies earnings reports that are coming out this week. So I think it's like Tuesday, Wednesday, we're going to start hearing some of this information and see if Jerome Powell comes out and what he says in regards of the interest rate hikes to combat inflation. But as you can see, Bitcoin's currently sitting at 21,318, and I was listening to one of my my TA guys that I follow, and they were talking about how Bitcoin didn't close over the 200-day EMA or something like that. So doesn't really have, super strong conviction in regards of, us finally kind of starting to get out of here. They was kind of comparing it to Ethereum, and it's more positive in regards of its chart structure than Bitcoin, but no one really knows what's going to happen. I mean, we can just have a massive wick that comes out of nowhere and completely reverses this market out of here. So there's still a lot of market uncertainty. You have Ethereum sitting at 1,445, and then Xrp sitting at 33 cents, currently down 6.3%. Do we have any big gainers? No. Stable. Everybody seems like they're stable and up now. Coming over here, the Bitcoin Fear Greed Index is at 30. So we're still in the fear range. We're not in the extreme fear range. So, take the little wins when we can. But like I told you, there's just a lot of market uncertainty of what's coming on. People are waiting, even myself, waiting on the signs with the little bit of capital they have, or the capital they have, and just waiting for the big announcements, these earnings reports. Are we in a recession? Is Jerome Powell going to increase, interest rates 75 basis points or 100 basis points? When are people really, waiting to dollar cost average or invest more? So people are either stable and up, kind of coming back, or they're just waiting in general, sitting on their hands. James K. Filing gives us an update. Says Amici filed response to SEC objection to their motion to participate in the expert challenge and to the SEC's motion to revoke their status and to bar Johnny Deaton from all further proceedings consecutive tweets. So you can come in here and click on these PDFs on James K. Filing's tweet here and kind of read through them. But, you know, there's people in the community that's been kind of screenshotting some of the important information in there. I want to cover these up. This is from Fred Rispoli. Says, Great job again, John Deaton. The next desperation move for the SEC would be to ask for a sir reply to Amici's brief. It would be such a crybaby attempt that I don't think even the SEC would try that. But I've tweeted similar before, and the SEC has shown a willingness to sink further. And that's just straight facts right there. XRP Crypto Wolf says, SEC is going to be disappointed when the judge decides to let Johnny Deaton stay in the XRP lawsuit. I mean, absolutely. Coming over here, James K. Fallon puts up another one. Says, Ripple defendants object to the SEC's request to impose an, quote, unprecedented level of secrecy on the proceedings by sealing all identifying information in the Daubert motions regarding its 5 proffered expert witnesses. XRP Crypto Wolf says, SEC are supposed to be servants of the people, and yet here they are doing everything possible to not be transparent about everything. Even a private company like Ripple is more transparent than the SEC. And that's really the big problem. And it's quite clear based off these past 2 years that the SEC isn't for the people. You know, they're for protecting themselves and, you know, their party or the people, you know, that back them or their buddies. And it's quite sickening, you know, who's there to protect, you know, the investors outside of ourselves and, you know, people like Johnny Deaton and Jeremy Hogan and Jason Foster and Empower Oversight and, you know, all the people that are truly fighting the good fight within the community. It's crazy. Coming over here, I like this because Jeremy Hogan kind of hits it on the head of like, this is one of the most crucial factors that has been presented in regards of just being witty, the wittiness of Johnny Deaton within this case so far. Right here, Jeremy Hogan says, Attorney Deaton, John Deaton responds, a response might be my favorite brief in the Ripple case so far. It defends his position in the case, defends his own actions, attacks the SEC, attacks the SEC expert, all in 4 pages, and also happens to spill on Hinman in his quote-unquote relation to Ethereum. Bravo. So let me say that again. It defends his position in the case. It defends the position in the case. It defends his own actions, attacks the SEC, attacks the expert, the SEC's expert, and throws in a little cherry on top with spilling on Hinman in his relation to Ethereum. So we click in here right here, just at the end, just like a nice little cherry on top, says, while at the SEC, Hinman was also a profit-sharing partner at Simpson Thacher, a member of the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance, which exclusively promotes Ether. The SEC's ethics chief informed Hinman he was criminally barred from contacting his partners at Simpson Thacher, although he continued to do so. And then that's Exhibit B. So Exhibit B, man. So there's been conversation about like, okay, so does this make it to where like the judges have to act and investigate, you know, this particular portion of kind of what's been happening? Is, you know, is that going to be, you know, I guess position the SEC, you know, further into a corner? Is this going to make, you know, Johnny Deaton's in the class action lawsuit, you know, position in the case more powerful? Is Ripple position going to be, you know, more powerful? It's exciting to kind of see, you know, how he threw this in here and kind of what comes out of it. XRP Crypto says SEC feel threatened if they are trying to get rid of Johnny Deaton because they now know how dangerous the XRP community is. And that's, I mean, that's just straight facts right there. Decentralized community coming together to fight the good fight. And that just sounds so good. So this is from Digital Asset Investors. Said not one congressman or congresswoman has called for an investigation on Bill Hinman. So just what we were talking about, the whole Simpson Thacher thing, the Hinman, Ethereum free pass speech and all that stuff. Call an investigation on Bill Hinman, Jay Clayton, SEC conflicts of interest, hashtag Ether, or the disguised well identities that Joseph Lubin says on video he could help hide the Ethereum ICO. So let's take a listen into this really quick.
So Hinman goes up on stage during this conference. At the time when he walks on stage, Ethereum is down 60% from its all-time high in January. Ripple's down, XRP's down as well. And he walks up and he effectively says, based on all of our analysis and all of this, you know, heavy thinking and deliberation, all this stuff we've been doing, we think that Bitcoin is sufficiently decentralized to not be a security. So there's really no reason to apply the disclosure regimes and the requirements of the securities laws to Bitcoin. And it probably would have been fine if he'd have just stopped there. But then he says, and also for basically the same reasons, putting aside the fact that they had an ICO putting aside the fundraising they did in connection with the creation of the project. So ignore the fact that they had an unregistered securities offering. We think now Ethereum is sufficiently decentralized, and therefore there's really no benefit to apply the securities laws to Ethereum.
And the money
drops the mic, he walks off the stage, and the price rockets within the minutes after he says this, makes this pronouncement. It rockets up 11%. It was so shocking. It was so parabolic of a move. Okay. Remember, it's been going down, 60%. And then it just rockets right off as he walks off the stage. It was so shocking that the moderator of the conference, basically in an excited utterance, which is admissible in the court of law, by the way. It's an exception to the hearsay rule. In an excited utterance, as he's talking to one of the founders of Grayscale, I think, who's like one of the largest, crypto investment funds that there are. He's basically got the chart behind him, and it's this massive, video wall, and it's going parabolic. And they're like, look at that. He said moments after, Director Hinman's speech, it went to the moon, and he basically says, you see why insider trading is illegal, right? He just kind of just says that like off the cuff because it was so shocking.
Okay, so we made a video of that in the past, and we even had our thumbnail that showed like it was a straight V bottom, straight rocket chart that popped up for Ethereum after the fact. So now we're talking about this whole insider trader stuff, and there's been a lot of speculation in the community as to why the SEC is now, kind of pivoting with the understanding that, speculating that the SEC knows that they're going to lose against Ripple, and they need to quickly grab onto something to kind of give them, some sort of position of power and outreach to, have their certain hold or stranglehold, on the crypto space, the crypto industry. So now they're going after this so-called insider trading information. They're going after the individuals, but they're not going after the so-called institution or the company. So they're going after these individuals for insider trading, but they're not going after Coinbase. But they're talking about, the conversations have been like, oh, they've declared, there's 9 security tokens. But it's like you're not going after Coinbase, or are they setting up themselves to go after Coinbase? They talked about Johnny Deaton, and even you hear about I forgot, Kevin O'Leary even talked about just you're gonna have to have a massive company that's gonna have to go down, and then Johnny Deaton saying sometime by this year the SEC is gonna sue a major exchange. Like, are they kind of paving the way or kind of setting themselves up? To kind of go after Brian Armstrong and Coinbase, leading with this stuff. And it brings up the question, it's like, okay, well, if Coinbase says, we don't, include securities, or we don't put securities on our exchange, period, then why did you delist XRP if you don't put securities on your exchange or on your platform? That's one thing. And then you have another thing. It's like, okay, well, why is the SEC going after these individuals, but they're not going after Coinbase? Just so many confusing things that's happened. And it's like he says right here, how did the SEC allow Coinbase to go public? Yeah, they're literally a publicly traded, company. How did they allow Coinbase to go public with 9 tokens that were securities being traded on the platform? What the hell is going on? And that's true. I mean, he tagged Gary Gensler and Hester Pearson in it as well. And just like, what the heck is going on? It makes no sense. It's like they say one thing and something comes out of the other side of their mouth. It's kind of like contradicting themselves in every way. And I wanted to bring this up because it goes on to insider trading, right? So let's listen into this really quick.
So I'm here today to announce the unsealing of 4 separate indictments charging a total of 9 defendants with insider trading schemes that collectively generated millions of dollars in profits. The defendants arrested today include a former United States congressman, an FBI agent in training, multiple Silicon Valley executives, and an investment banker who worked at one of Wall Street's leading financial institutions. We allege that each of the defendants charged today corrupted the integrity of the markets by stealing inside information or trading on stolen information. We also allege that several defendants tipped friends or family members with that stolen information so that they too could trade and benefit from an unfair advantage. So I'm here.
Okay, so what is this? Who is this gentleman here? It says, I, Notorious XRP. So shout out Notorious XRP. I'm going to follow this on this account here. Okay, so remember what was just said, right? From this official right here talking about they went after him and why they went after him. Okay, so it goes back to what we've been talking about in the community, this whole ETHgate stuff. So what about Bill Hinman? What about Jay Clayton and the rest of the people? What about, right here? What about Mike Novogratz? What about, all the other people that were out there gloating and bragging about, oh, we were short XRP and, Ripple this and XRP that. Clearly, there was some sort of communication that's been happening in regards of, okay, they know the lawsuit is going to be happening. We know that XRP is going to go down. We might as well put a lot of money into this. And how many people were involved in that? And are those people going to go down and get arrested like the people that this gentleman was talking about in this? Clearly, the SEC is going after, particular individuals in regards of their insider trading information or their insider trading actions that they've taken. So let's take a listen into this. I wonder when the ball is going to drop in these people's courts, and they're going to have to face, the consequences of their actions. So let's take a listen into this.
There's a lot of information, and so part of it is event-driven and access to information. So one of the things I keep trying to do is put myself in the center of the ecosystem. It's when you're center of the ecosystem, and it's still a relatively small world. You know what's happening, and so when the Ethereum Alliance got announced, it was well telegraphed that it was going to get announced. You talk to people, you knew it was going to get announced, and then it gets announced and the price goes way, way up. And so I would call that an event-driven trade. Okay, but Ethereum they haven't ruled on yet. I bet dimes to donuts. They will say Ethereum probably was a security, but it's not anymore.
Okay, but Ethereum they haven't ruled on yet. I bet dimes to donuts. They will say Ethereum probably was a security, but it's not anymore.
How can he say that so confidently?
Regulators got worried. I mean, it was interesting. CNBC, not to pick on CNBC, but I think I can see them here. They literally had a show where they were one by one walking people through how to buy the Ripple, the XRP coin. Literally, when it was trading at $3.20, having moved from 20 cents 8 weeks earlier. From the day of that show, the thing plummeted. We were short.
So right now we have, for example, shorts open on Ripple and Litecoin.
It plummeted all the way back to 50 cents. We were short.
And so if that happened, liquidity is going to dry up on XRP and the price will plummet.
I keep trying to do is put myself in the center of the ecosystem.
I keep trying to do is put myself in the center of the ecosystem.
You have to pay the fee.
So long story short, I mean, that's just two individuals, two entities that had this so-called inside information. And it's like, look at this face from Jim Carrey right here. Like, it's just, I mean, seriously, this is crazy. Like, how dumb do they think we are? And the fact that they're out here just like having these conversations like this was never going to come back to them. It's crazy, man. But is it really? Will it come full circle? Will they fall, be arrested and have to deal with the consequences of their action? Who knows? I mean, clearly the SEC is trying their hardest, everything in their power to not release those, those documents, those emails, between Bill Hinman, the SEC officials, and whoever else is a part of those attached emails in regards of the Ethereum Free Pass speech. Who knows, man? It's kind of just a waiting game to see what happens. Obviously, when it comes to the Ripple versus SC case, a lot of us, are anticipating a settlement at some point because they're not going to want us to see who's a part of that. Because just like we've done in this decentralized community, all it takes is one tweet, one video, one image to send the community going down the rabbit hole to find more and more information. Where do you think the Ethereum Free Pass timeline, the ETHgate timeline came from? It started with one thing. Literally just expanded and grew like a virus into all these other things, and now all the dots are being connected. What's going to happen with it? So I wanted to cover in depth what was going on with this Voyager and FTX proposal stuff, but I'm kind of running late. So I highly recommend you come to CoinDesk and you go, to Sam Bankman-Fried's, Twitter and kind of read through the tweet threads. I have one up here, and you can kind of read through it. But long story short, it says, failed lender Voyager, no customer will be made whole under FTX proposal. FTX CEO Sam Bankman-Fried said his firm offer would give Voyager customers back 100% of the remaining assets, while Voyager lawyers argue that it only benefits FTX. So you can come in here and look at these key points, listen to this video here to kind of get some more information on it. But there's a lot of conversation that's been happening in regards of, is it good? Is Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX kind of looking out for themselves? Here's what I really wanted to cover, okay? Is right here. Where's it at? Okay, so long story short, I was more concerned about, I forgot where it's at in here, but I was more concerned about, if it were me and my assets were locked up on Voyager and they were saying, no, we should let litigation play out and we should kind of, let the bankruptcy process happen and let's go through these lawsuits or whatever the case is, I would be like, hell no. If I had the option of getting, even if it was 50% of whatever I had in there back now as fast as possible or whenever that case is, I would rather take that route, take my losses, learn from it, and move forward. Get back into, investing, whether you do a day trader or swing trader, whatever case is, or an investor. I'd rather do that than go years and years and years through litigation to probably not even get back, what it's worth, let alone what it's worth at that time. So say I had one Bitcoin in there, if it was worth, 30,000 when everything hit the fan or whatever the case is, or whatever the case is, right? By the time litigation's over, years from now, am I going to get the value of that one Bitcoin then, or am I going to get the value of when everything happened? That's what I'm saying. So I'd rather get as much as I possibly can back now, so I can understand where Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX's proposal comes in to almost in a sense of benefit, even though it's not perfect. It'd be ideal to get all your stuff back, but I would rather take that route than to go the litigation route. That's what I wanted to have the conversation on. You let me know what you would want. If you were in the position like these customers that are in this position in regards to Voyager. But that's the update, 22-minute video. I didn't expect it to be this long, but it's great information. And it's just crazy how deep the rabbit hole goes in regards of just not even just the Ripple versus SC stuff or the ETH stuff. It's just how it affects the entire markets. When it comes to insider trading, we know it happens in all markets, especially the stock market. Okay, we get all that stuff, but it's like when it's in our community or the crypto space, such a small asset class, it seems to be a lot louder in regards of manipulation within the market. And it's crazy because a lot of the small investors like us are the ones holding the bags and the ones that are affected by it. I mean, look at what's happening with all these major platforms. People don't have access to their money anymore. These are people's lives that are ruined. It's just crazy, man. But that's the update. Make sure you come to the Crypto is Key Conversation YouTube channel and subscribe. Follow us on Twitter at Crypto is Key 1. I really appreciate the support. We're really excited to grow this community. With all that being said, stay strong out there. Be safe.